Some 400 reporters from 67 countries have scoured 13.4 million secret documents and uncovered tax evasion techniques used by the super-rich and high-ranking politicians, German media reported on Sunday. The leaked data was obtained by German newspaper Süddeutsche Zeitung, which said that the majority of the documents stem from offshore law firm Appleby, which was founded in Bermuda but has offices in several other locations. The company reported last month that it had been hacked. Read more. Panama Papers report calls out complicit EU countries. The documents, dubbed the Paradise Papers, appear to show ties between members of U.S. President Donald Trump's cabinet and Russian firms. Shrinking taxes. The documents also show that by using shell companies, corporations such as Nike, Apple, Uber and Facebook are able to shrink their taxes to low rates. Rock star Bono, as well as British Queen Elizabeth II's private estate, has also been involved in offshore funds, Süddeutsche Zeitung reported. Over 120 politicians from 47 countries are involved in the tax evasion schemes, the paper reported. Economist Gabriel Zuckman told the Süddeutsche Zeitung that the global elite have parked an estimated €7.9 trillion $9.1 trillion in offshore tax havens. The data was published by a number of news organizations in cooperation with the U.S.-based International Consortium of Investigative Journalists ICIJ. Read more. Panama Papers. EXPM Nawaz Sharif faces graft charges in Pakistan. Trump's cabinet and Russian links. The leaks expose U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, alleging links with Russian President Vladimir Putin's closest allies. Billionaire Wilbur Ross makes money from business with Russia. That he sits in U.S. President Donald Trump's cabinet does not appear to change that, the Süddeutsche Zeitung said in its report. The papers showed that U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross profited from a firm tied to Putin allies. Ross is reportedly a major shareholder in an ocean freight company called Navigator, which has contracted more than $68 million through transactions with Russian energy group Sibur since 2014. Read more. What Robert Mueller's indictments of former Trump campaign officials mean for the president in turn. Sibur's biggest shareholders include Putin ally Leonid Mikhelson, who controls another energy company sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury for its close ties to the Russian president. Sibur's two other owners include Gennady Timchenko, who is also sanctioned by the U.S. government for his ties to Putin, and Kirill Shamalov, who is married to Putin's youngest daughter. In addition to Ross, Süddeutsche Zeitung reported that over a dozen Trump advisors, cabinet members, and campaign donors appear in the leaked data. June 18, 2013. Donald Trump tweeted the Miss Universe pageant will be broadcast live from Moscow, Russia on November 9. A big deal that will bring our countries together. He later added, do you think Putin will be going? If so, will he become my new best friend? October 17, 2013. Trump tells chat show host David Letterman he has conducted a lot of business with the Russians. An FBI agent told a tech support contractor at the Democratic National Committee it may have been hacked. On May 18, 2016, James Clapper, the director of national intelligence, said there were some indications of cyber attacks aimed at the presidential campaigns. On June 14, 2016, the DNC announced it had been the victim of an attack by Russian hackers. Senator Jeff Sessions, an early Trump endorser who led his National Security Advisory Committee, met Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak and a group of other ambassadors at a Republican National Convention event. Julian Assange's WikiLeaks published 20,000 emails stolen from the DNC, appearing to show a preference for Hillary Clinton over Senator Bernie Sanders. The FBI announced it was investigating the DNC hack, saying, "A compromise of this nature is something we take very seriously." Donald Trump is elected President of the United States. On November 9, the Russian parliament burst into applause at the news. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Rybakov said there were contacts between the Russian government and the Trump campaign during the election campaign. The Trump campaign issued a firm denial. Trump named General Michael Flynn as his national security advisor. The former Defense Intelligence Agency chief was a top foreign policy advisor in Trump's campaign. Flynn resigned in February after failing to disclose full details of his communication with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak. Acting Attorney General Sally Yates told White House counsel Don McGahn that Flynn made false statements regarding his calls with Kislyak. On January 30, Trump fired Yates for refusing to enforce his travel ban, which was later blocked by federal courts. Trump said he had total confidence in Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Sessions announced he would recuse himself from any investigation into ties between Russia and the Trump campaign. FBI Director James Comey confirmed before the House Select Committee on Intelligence that the FBI was investigating possible links between Russia and the Trump campaign. In a letter announcing the termination, Trump wrote, "While I greatly appreciate you informing me, on 3 separate occasions, that I am not under investigation, I nevertheless concur with the judgment of the Department of Justice that you are not able to effectively lead the Bureau." Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein appointed former FBI Director Robert Mueller to look into Russia's interference in the 2016 election and possible collusion with the Trump campaign. Shortly after Mueller convenes a grand jury for the investigation, the FBI seizes documents from one of Paul Manafort's properties as part of a raid for Mueller's probe. The former Trump campaigner manager stepped down in August 2016 after allegations surfaced that he had received large payments linked to Ukraine's former pro-Russian government. Donald Trump Jr. tells the Senate Judiciary Committee he has not colluded with a foreign government. The closed-door interview relates to his June 2016 meeting with Russian lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya, which was also attended by his brother-in-law, Jared Kushner, and then-campaign manager Paul Manafort. Trump Jr.'s emails, however, suggest the meeting was supposed to produce dirt on Clinton. Facebook, Twitter and Google reportedly tell U.S. media they have evidence that Russian operatives exploited platforms to spread disinformation during the 2016 U.S. presidential election. The 3 companies are expected to appear before a Senate Intelligence Committee in November. Author Joe Harper, Kathleen Schuster, German ex-chancellor. Implicated data from the Paradise Papers shows that former German Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder had a management role at an offshore company. In 2009, he was part of a so-called independent supervisory board of the Russian-British energy company TNK-BP, the documents show. The joint venture by Britain's BP and Russia's Alpha Group was based, like many other oil joint ventures, in the British Virgin Islands. Read more. Russian money flows into Germany despite sanctions. Former German Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder was on the board of an offshore British-Russian energy company. According to the papers, Schroeder and 2 others on the board contacted Appleby about certain procedural company affairs under the laws of the British Virgin Islands, according to an email from a London-based lawyer in October 2011. Appleby declined to offer their services due to a conflict of interest with another client. Read more. The Rosneft seat and Gerhard Schroeder's Kremlin credentials. In December 2011, Schroeder stepped down from his post on the board. In 2013, TNK-BP was taken over by Russian oil giant Rosneft. Schroeder was appointed chairman of Rosneft's supervisory board a few weeks ago. Several German companies also had dealings with Appleby, including car rental service Sixt, Deutsche Post, DHL, Siemens, Allianz and Deutsche Bank. Panama Papers, the sequel. The Süddeutsche Zeitung was also involved in exposing the so-called Panama Papers leak last year. The papers were initially leaked to the Süddeutsche Zeitung last year. The Panama Papers consist of some 11.5 million leaked documents implicating individuals stashing their wealth in offshore tax havens. The documents revealed how Mossack Fonseca had created some 200,000 shell companies and listed the names of individuals, including politicians, celebrities and athletes, who had hidden their wealth in those companies.